Hey guys, so I am back, and as I was putting on my makeup for a review video, I figured it would be the perfect chance to actually do a tutorial showing you this new palette that I have, because I was testing it out, trying it out, and I figured I'd just do a tutorial. So this is the Sephora plus Pantone Universe palette, and every year Sephora teams up with Pantone Universe to create a palette of eyeshadows. They do blushes as well, lip colors. They do a whole like face makeup collection for with Pantone Universe. And Pantone Universe is a company that kind of comes up with the color of the year, so that's gonna be the trend of the year color wise, and this year it's Marsala. So you'll see these reddish tones, and Marsala is a town in Italy, and the wine that comes from that region is the Marsala wine. It's like a deep berryish tone red. It's not really a rich maroon, but it's more of a berry toned red, and at first it can be a little bit frightening. I was all over it because I love red tones on caramel skin, so I was all over it, and I grabbed it as soon as I saw it pop up. And they have nice colors in here, but all that aside, I'm gonna do a tutorial with this palette using the signature Marsala matte shade. And if you want to see this tutorial, then stay tuned for the look, and I will talk to you soon. Alright, so here's an up close view of the look that we are going for. So let's just jump right into it. I already filled in my brows with my Anastasia Brow Wiz, and for my primer today I'm using the Kat Von D High Voltage Primer in the shade Skin, and it's a really tacky primer. It works really well. I'm just going to dab that on my lids and blend it out with my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush all over my lid up to my brow bone area. Now, as a secondary base just on my lid, I'm going to apply the Makeup Geek Gel Eyeliner in the shade Poison, which is just a bright red base, and I'm only applying this because I need the Marsala color to pop, and I found that it popped better over a base. And I'm just applying this with my Ray Morris 8.5 Cream Shadow Shader Brush, and just keeping that on the lid, staying below the crease area. Then I cleaned off that brush as best as I could, and I'm going around the edges of the color so we blend out the edges and there are no harsh lines. Now, before I start out with my eyeshadows, I'm just going in with a skin tone shade. And I'm applying this in my crease area with my Zoeva 222 all over shader brush. And this is just going to help give our eyeshadows something to blend against so they don't stick too much on the brow bone area. Now I'm grabbing this matte orangey, like burnt orange shade. It's macaroon from the palette, and I'm just going back and forth with a blending brush. This is the J5523 brush from Hakuhodo, and I'm just blending that lightly in my crease area, and that's going to give us a nice transition from the red into the lighter brow bone color. Now I'm taking a little bit more of that color and building it up more on the outer crease area and outer lid, just to make sure we have a nice blend zone for the red colors. For the lid shade, I'm using Marsala Matte from the palette on my MAC 239 brush, and it's a little powdery, so I'm making sure I press the eyeshadow over that base so it sticks and doesn't give us too much fallout. Just tap 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 to press that color over the base so we get nice pigmentation and a little fallout. I'm going back in and keep on building up that color all over the lid, just avoiding the inner tear duct area. Again, tap 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 so we minimize fallout and intensify pigmentation. I'm just grabbing a clean blending brush. This is a J5522 brush from Hakuhodo. It's just a large blending brush to blend out the edges as we go along. Now I'm going back in the palette and grabbing the shade Rosette, which is a deep dark kind of burgundy brown shade, and it's matte in finish, and I'm just going to tap that on my outer lid area using that J5523 blending brush that we used before, just to deepen up that outer area and just bring that color slightly inwards to the middle of the lid and the inner crease area. Now I wiped off the brush again and just going around lightly, so using very light feathery motions I'm going back and forth across that color to blend it upwards onto the brow bone area so we don't have a harsh line, and it blends into that macaroon color that we placed down initially. Now it can come off a little bit muddy and a little bit patchy, so just go back in and build it up so you get the coverage that you need in the areas that you need. So I'm trying to cover any patchy areas. These are matte colors, so you have to be careful with blending because you can blend away some of the colors. So keep going back and forth, look at the color from a distance and see where you might do some blending and add some more color. Again, cleaning off the brush, I'm going back at those edges to blend them out because you can see we have a little bit of a patchy area there, and I'm trying to blend that out. Sometimes you have to do like eraser motions and just be patient. It will all blend out eventually. I'm going back in with some of that matte Marsala shade and just build up the intensity again because some of our blending took some of that intense red shade off the lid and I want it to still pop up red. And then just go back in and do a quick blend to make sure everything is seamless. So for the inner tear duct area, I'm grabbing two colors from the palette. I'm grabbing Toasted Nut, which is kind of a muted champagne shade, and the light shimmery icy gold shade, which is called Autumn Blonde. And I'm just applying that to my inner tear duct with a small brush. This is the J242G from Hakuhodo again. And I'm just making sure that I blend that color on the inner tear duct as well as with the red shade on the lid. You can go back in with the brush that you were using for the red shade and just buff out the edge so you're not overtaking the color and it doesn't look like a huge separation. And then for the highlight, I'm using the shade next to Macaroon, which is called Chutney. And it's just a light beige shade, and I'm applying that under my brow with a MAC 252 large shader brush. And also just buffing out the edges of those colors on the brow bones so they don't go as high and you kind of blend them all together seamlessly on the brow bone and crease area. And one more time, I'm just going back into the crease area with my large blending brush to make sure everything is seamless in the crease. For the lower lash line, I'm going back in with that dark kind of burgundy brown shade on a MAC 212, and this again is the shade Rosette. And I'm just applying that on my lower lash line right against the lashes for a smoky effect. Then I'm grabbing some of the matte Marsala shade and going over that color just to lighten it up and tie everything in with the lid colors. In my lower waterline with a rich black pencil eyeliner. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Perversion. It's nice and rich, so I really like that color. And then go back in with the 212 brush and just smudge along the lashes. Some of that black will come down and it will give it an even smokier, deep effect. For mascara, I'm of course using my Too Faced Better Than Sex. I'm giving it a nice coat. And then you don't want to forget your lower lashes since those need to kind of stand out against the smoky liner on the bottom. And for my lashes today, I'm using my number 48 lashes from Nigel's Beauty Emporium, which coincidentally are the same lashes from Lily Galici. I forget what style, but I did a video comparing those a long time ago that they are the same lashes. So don't waste your money buying the Lily Galici lashes. Just buy the Nigel Beauty Emporium lashes for like $2. I saved my upper lash line liner for last because I want it to be really thin, so I'm just going right against my lash line with the L'Oreal Super Slim Liner. And you guys let me know if you've seen this in store because I have been trying to pick up a new one but I can't find it. And I'm doing just a very little wing with this. Nothing too crazy, I want that very simple. So here go the eyes, completely done. So now let's move on to the rest of the face. I realized when I look back at my tutorials where I don't apply foundation in the video that I don't tell you what the foundation is, even though it's always listed in the description box below. But I thought I'd change it up a bit and tell you what I used. I used my Marc Jacobs Marvelous Mousse Transformative Foundation in the shade Cocoa number 82. And then I set that with my Marc Jacobs Perfection Powder Featherweight Foundation in the shade 500 Fawn Cocoa. So that's what I used for my foundation before I started out with anything else on the face. And I'm going to use a new product, and I'm kind of going to use this video as a slight demo. So you're going to see me use the contour powder in this. This is the Kat Von D. Yeah, what am I talking about? This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light contour palette. This palette has 3 highlight shades and 3 contour shades, and what I'm gonna do is contour with the middle shade here, which is called Shadow Play. And it looks very tame in the actual palette, but it's a gray toned tan color. It's matte. All of these colors are matte. So what I'm going to do is apply this to the hollows of my cheeks using my IT Cosmetics. This is the angled radiance brush. I'm just applying it to the hollows of my cheeks, so exactly where I would contour. I'm not bringing it up like I would a bronzer, because that's just a different thing altogether. Don't bring it up the way you would a bronzer. Put it in the area that you would actually contour. So I'm just blending it into the hollows of my cheeks, and as you can see, it gives a very nice shadow. It actually worked out pretty well. I really like how it worked. And then I'm gonna kind of like mix the 3 colors and apply it to my temple, so right above my eyebrow where I'd cast a shadow. So I'm putting this where a shadow would go. Blended that in with the same brush. And then I'm gonna grab just a touch, not too much of this, and pull it into my hairline. Not too much down on my forehead, but mainly in my hairline area, just to bring everything together so everything's cohesive. So that's what I'm gonna do with this palette, and a review is upcoming. You'll get a full review, don't worry about it. For my cheek color, I'm gonna go in with one of my loves, and I'm trying to like shop my stash. So I'm grabbing my Madame Rougit blush, 4 color blush from Guerlain. And this was limited edition, but any blush you have that's like a peachy pink will do, or even like a rosy red shade would do too, because it would tie in with the eyes. But this color is so subtle, so pretty, so nice. I love this. Oh my god. I'm just gonna grab that on my Zoeva Luxe Cheek Finish brush and just pop that on my cheeks. And as you can see, it's just a very subtle light flush of color. And for me, I prefer a subtle flush of color on my darker skin, because I feel like darker skin, it can just look too clownish if you try to go too extreme with blush. And then for the lips, I had some trouble figuring out what the heck I was gonna do with the lips. So when in doubt, just go nude. And I went for an orangey toned nude. So this one is one of the true nude lip foundations from Buxom, and I got like 3 of these shades last year. Do I have all 3? I think I do. This is the shade Bear, and it's an orangey tone, like I said. So I'm just gonna fill my lips in with this. This is very matte, very dry, so a lip balm would help you in this case. Yeah, because the product can get very drying. And then once I have that all on my lips, I'm gonna grab my lip pencil from MAC. This is in the shade Whirl, which is a deeper nude with a touch of pink to it, like a rosy, deeper nude. And it's a great color. I think this is a great lip pencil. MAC lip pencils, I love MAC nip. I love MAC lip pencils. I think they're the best lip pencils on the market, hands down. MAC has it there. I'm gonna outline my lips, and I'm trying to fill in the actual line of my lips. So I'm not overlining, I'm actually lining on my lips. And I find that's the most flattering if you want to go for a pouty lip without overlining and doing that obnoxious stuff that Instagram is famous for. Just line on your actual lip line. It will still look full because you're outlining exactly where your lips are versus underlining. Looks great. Once I have that all on, I'm like, wait a minute, it looks far too matte. It was just too matte for me. I had to grab one of my YSL, what is this called? It's one of their glossy stains, I believe. This is in the shade 102, and it's just a neutral shade. You do not need to grab this. It's just it's something, it has a peachy undertone. It was light, it wasn't going to change the color, so I thought this would be quick and easy to put over that lip color. But you know, any peachy tone lip gloss that you have will do. This one is very expensive, so it's not something that I'm like, you better get that, girl. No. So that's it. That is the final look, and I really love how this turned out. Let me know if you guys are interested in a review, because the palette is sold out. I don't know if they're gonna be restocking it or anything, or if you can find it in your store. The eyeshadows are very nice. The glittery shades have chunky glitter in them, so they don't really stick well without a sticky primer, which is a drawback to me. But the matte shades are very impressive. I really like the formula. They're powdery though. But all in all, I think it was a decent palette. I think the color arrangement, the color selection was really good for the theme. I actually like this palette a lot, and I like that they did a smaller, compact palette. So just my 2 cents. If you want me to do a full-on review with swatches, let me know, but I don't know how helpful it would be since you can't really get your hands on it. But yeah, yeah, that's the end of the tutorial, end of this video, end of me talking non-stop. But I really actually like red burgundy shades on myself personally, so I just think it goes really great with caramel complexion. So I think this palette was great for caramel complexion. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed already, please hit subscribe so you can see more videos like this. So until my next video, I'll talk to you soon, and check below for links to my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages where you can follow me along. And as usual, a full list of products used will be listed in the description. So if you missed something, definitely check down there. And there are also some helpful links for videos that you might not have seen. So definitely check down there, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!